Welcome to Fast Cars, Fast Girls. We are your IndyCar experience. Well, this week we have actually a couple very special guests with us. Starting the call, we might have a third joining us, but we have Dave Dusick and Brittany White joining us. And
Yay!
you may not have heard of them. You may have heard of them. They're kind of a big deal. They do lots of really cool things, but one of the most fun is an awesome charity event called Racers Know Dave Dusick. And so we wanted to chat with them about this event. Dave is the pretty face for the event, and Brittany manages all of the details so that all Dave has to do is show up. So yeah, welcome Brittany and Dave. We're excited to have you and excited to talk about your event. This is the part where you guys
Awesome.
talk.
Yeah, I was trying to let Brittany speak first. I'm notorious for talking over people, so guys, thanks for having us. This David Dusick Foundation is probably the most special thing of all the millions of things I do in my life. It's the most special thing that we have, and then of course this Racer KDD party that we've created at PRI is it's just really the most fun we have all year, and obviously all for good cause, going to Raleigh Children's Foundation and the kids at Raleigh Hospital. So we appreciate you giving us a chance to talk about it. And I'm going to let Brittany tell you all the details because she knows everything there is to know, all the 411 and the FAQs and the whatever else you need to know.
All right.
Absolutely. So this year we are holding the event once again at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we've moved it to the pavilion this year, away from the media center. Basically, we're just growing and growing every year, and we want to be able to grow into the space. And we were a little bit too big last year in the media center, so we're moving it to the pavilion, and we have a lot of really cool things happening. So doors open at 6 p.m. and they close at 11. So lots of time to drink and donate and shop. We've got a lot of cool things this year. Our keystone part of the event is the Celebrity Bartender Challenge. So what's cool this year is we are building a square bar. So it has 4 sides, and one side is the VIP side. So like any of our sponsors that have sponsored the event, or you can also buy like one-off VIP tickets. You'll have like a reserved lounge area and a private bar. And then the other 3 bars will be dueling bartenders from 7 to 10. So you'll see lots of celebrities, people you know from the racing industry, some social media influencers, some people on the news, just local indie celebrities. Will be basically dueling it out in half-hour shifts from 7 to 10. So we'll have up to 18 bartenders, which is a lot to keep track of this year. And then we really are excited about that just because competition is in all of our blood, right? So we love to see who can raise the most money, and it all goes to Riley Children's Foundation, which is amazing. So in addition to that, so like that's not enough, right?
Right, and it's Thursday, December 12th, correct?
Yep, Thursday, December 12th.
So if you're smart, okay, so same week as PRI, so there's lots of people in town who might not live in Indy, so there's a really good chance that you're going to see some people you probably know from the grid. Mm-hmm. And I will say, word to the wise, just request Friday off work now.
Go ahead, take that Friday
last year. Trust us, take the day off work on Friday. It's worth it.
It is worth
it. That ain't no lie. I just got a meeting scheduled for Friday at PRI, and I'm like, uh-oh. I think I'm just going to be honest with them and say, hey, man, like, we got a really cool party Thursday night. Like, can we just push this to afternoon or maybe Saturday? So, yeah, that's good advice. Also, the good advice is Uber. To and from the track, Uber or Lyft. And our group will be putting out details on where that Uber needs to go. Because of the lights of the Brickyard, there's a little bit of a logistical change. Or have we fixed, is that different this year, or is it the same as last year, Brittany?
It's the same challenge. We're working directly with Lyft to schedule drop off and pickup points so that anyone that takes Lyft will be good. Uber is we're still kind of working through it. And then we're trying to get the museum to be a drop off point so we can run shuttles back and forth. Because most people just go to the museum anyway, because that's just like the first point of entry, and it's right before lights of the Brickyard. So we're trying to figure out a way to catch people that maybe get dropped off there, so they don't have to walk all the way to the pavilion in December. Which
Sure.
isn't that far of a
That's-
walk most days, but in December you just never know. So we're trying to
Yeah.
get ahead of that.
For sure. So ladies, we've sort of taken over your show here, but
You're fine.
This is
a
what
good
we do.
Okay, well, this is a good opportunity for me to point something out that's really important. So Brittany is part of a group of unbelievably talented individuals under the moniker of Cooper Consulting Events. Did I get that right, Brett?
Correct.
Yeah, CCE, Cooper Consulting Events, led by the unbelievable Laura Cooper. And I just want to give them a shout out. Laura Cooper and her team has come on board, and they've really made this event what it is. And while it is the Racers No Dave Dusick party, it really should be the Cooper Consulting Events rules the world party, because the details that they put in and the extravagance that you see is all because of Cooper. Otherwise, it'd be like me and a couple of cases of beer and, like an iPod playing some music, So
And like a
not
bucket
that
of fried chicken.
Yeah, well, that felt like that was a bit much, but yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to Brittany and Coop and all of the people. Like I said earlier, there's a whole litany of people that make this event happen, and then let alone the patrons, which we'll talk about later. So yeah, just like all this little details about the Lyft and the Ubers, they do a great job, and I think you see the difference when you come to the event. Because all the little details are handled. So thank you, Britt, and all the folks at CCE and Cooper Consulting Events.
We're happy to do it.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly, Dave. Having gone to the event last year, and Brittany, I'll let you continue to talk about the event here in a sec.
No, perfect.
But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you're being a little modest with how awesome the event is. Like you said, Dave, even those small details of where can Lyft and Uber drop you off and pick you up, and having shuttles because it's December in Indiana and it could be 60 degrees or it could be -20. Those little details are what take an event from being, really good to great, or, to freaking fantastic. And something that we have talked about all year, we all go to lots of events, and the food varies. There's, it's sometimes it can be hit or miss. And Molly and I eat mostly vegetarian, so for us especially, it's always a little dicey when we go somewhere that's catered, because if it's a really meat-heavy menu, we're kind of out of luck. And I will say that I have been to maybe a handful of other events that had better food than the Racers No Dave Dusick event last year.
That's
It
true.
was out of this world amazing. It's included in your ticket. And the live music. You can't beat live music. It's like the best wedding reception you ever go to. is how I would describe
I
the
agree.
event.
Well, I have a little bit of what we'll call it an opportunity for a new experience. We've decided to shift that up a little bit this year. The folks, David Hunt and the Mac Daddies, have played the last couple of years, and they've done an unbelievable job. And like you said, it's a wedding. They're the best wedding reception party band in the world. But we met with them and we talked about it, and a huge portion of our event is about networking within the motorsport industry. One of the things about me, the whole moniker of I Know Dave Dusick, started because I have all these relationships, and no matter where you go, it seems like somebody knows that crazy, funny-looking guy from Indy, And so the networking portion's been huge. So long story short, our corporate partners have asked us to try to compromise a bit. And so what we've decided to do is we're going to do a DJ this year, and instead of the live music. And I think. Well, I'm excited to see how it goes. We did that the first couple of years with good success. Dave Hunt was the Mac Daddies were an unbelievable addition, but they actually agreed. The band said, "Hey, look, we feel like maybe we're trying to compete with the event a little bit." So I think what you may see is a future DD Foundation event that features the Mac Daddies that is nothing but a concert. But I think we have to split the two. I think we've grown to the point to where it's already a kickin' party. And it's still going to be a kickin' party, and we don't need the band to augment that, right? Like it's a great time on its own. And so, Brittany, did I articulate that properly? Do you kind of agree with that?
That's perfect. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So cool tie-in with our DJ is he's actually an AMR ambulance driver.
Oh
Really?
my gosh.
Yeah. So of course, we keep it all in the family.
Oh,
He's,
wait, is it? Who is it?
He's from Seattle. His name's Brant.
Okay.
You know him?
I'm sure that we do.
I'm sure we've met him.
We enjoy. We enjoy the
been
whole
awesome.
AMR team. So
Yeah,
that's
he
fantastic.
is awesome. His like, I thought he was a full-time DJ, and he was just recommended by AMR. But then come to find out, he actually is an ambulance driver as well.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, that's very cool.
yeah, and he's gonna fly in from Seattle for the event, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome.
I want to pause this a second. I've heard of ambulance chasers, but I've never heard of an ambulance driver chaser.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on right now?
Now you know, it's a new genre.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can go on and go back and talk more about the event. So so I want to ask you guys a question. This is me kiboshing your show and taking over.
Yeah, do it.
So one of the deals when we started the DD Foundation was the fact that this is near and dear to my heart, the Riley Children's Foundation, for reasons we can talk about later. But I feel like everybody, especially in today's social media world, I have 5,000 Facebook friends, and I bet I get 500 requests for donations per day, right? Like, it's just everybody's doing benevolent things, and that's amazing. I love the power of positivity. I love seeing people do things, but I also feel like the world's saturated with people requesting. And one of the things that's really important to me is I don't ever want to ask anybody for their money, right? My goal is to say, look, let's go do something awesome. And by the way, everything that we put into this awesomeness goes towards a good cause, right? So let's throw a kickin' party. And then, by the way, all the proceeds from that party go benefit the kids at Riley. So in that, I hear from a lot of people that the party's a good time. I get distracted and talk to a million people. And I'm curious as to what makes it such a great party. I want to hear from the two of you. Everybody I know says last year was awesome. So let me ask you, besides the food and the drinks and the craziness, tell me exactly, or just kind of give us a first person account of what makes it so cool.
It's one of so this is me finally speaking. I think part of it is like the event has pulled a great eclectic enough group of people that like going, up to a bar, you're talking and chatting with people, getting food, you're chatting with people you don't know, but it somehow is created, and I think it owes to all of you who put it together, that there's just this fun atmosphere. It's right before the holidays. The weather outside is turning a little cold, but it's warm, it's good music and food, and so everybody's just kind of in that great party atmosphere of like, yeah, we're here, we're having a fun time. There's the stuff to look at. There's drinks to try and talk about what drink you liked best. So to me, it's not like I can't point to something specific. It's kind of this atmosphere. It's kind of like the perfect party ingredients. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's got a great vibe.
Mm-hmm.
From the second you walk in the door, you're just immediately comfortable and like, yeah, people are having a good time here. I want to be a part of this. It also was really fun to me, like you said, Molly, an eclectic group of people, because it tends to be people who are into racing or somehow involved in the motorsports community. Yeah. And there were a couple different times that we ran into people that we knew that we didn't know were going to be there, and that was really fun. And then, like you said, just stand at the bar, wait in line to get up and order a drink. We actually networked with several people at an event, which was not even on our radar. We were just planning on, coming to this cool event that a friend of mine puts on and, see what it's about. And it ended up being, 100 times more awesome than we thought it could be. And we had legitimate networking deals that took place. It's like the perfect mix of business and pleasure, and it's a charity.
So, win-win-win.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because in reality, that's exactly what this event is all about. I'm very, very grateful to be surrounded by unbelievable people inside this sport and outside this sport. But when we were looking at doing some sort of like a cocktail reception or something for our racetrack engineering business, and I thought, I don't know that that's got the right vibe. Like, I'm not a salesman. I don't want to be a salesman. And so that's kind of how this whole Racers KDD started was, hey, let's do a party during PRI. and let's bring all of those people together, right? So I have sprint car racing friends. I have drag racing friends. Super excited. Amanda Busick is very much like Dusick. Her first initial of her last name is B for Busick. And she's bringing Jamie Howe with her. So we have the drag racing community coming over. We have the Orange Cone, of course. He's coming over, and he's just everything. But then I've got sprint car racing fans. Of course, we've got our IndyCar family. Last year, Jay Fry was the speaker. Of course, Doug Bowles was the year before that. And so you have all these different communities coming together. There's a huge congregation of dirt late model people that come. One year there was this giant, all the champions from Torque Off Road were there thanks to Cooper Tires. And so you have all this giant eclectic mix of all these people that I've touched throughout the years through my work and my travels. And so to bring them all together is awesome, right? Like, where do you see Alex Rossi, an Indy 500 champion, and Keegan Kincaid, a Torque Off-Road national champion, and also a Chad Baseflug, who's a USAC sprint car star. Like, you never see all those guys in one place. And so the thing I love about it is the fact that we're all racers and we all share a commonality in the fact that we're racers. And most of us share a commonality is that we probably drank a few beers together at some point.
Yeah.
So, dogs, the mailman must be here. So it's cool. I'm glad to hear you say that. Our corporate sponsorship has continued to rise. And Brittany, I'm gonna miss these. I'm gonna let you fill in the gaps. But Cooper Tire has been a huge supporter of ours. Chris Pantani and Meg Snyder and the folks at Mag Events. Cooper Tires has been a presenting sponsor now for, I believe, 2 or 3 years, and they've been a part of it since the beginning. Ibach Springs, Ibach has been a part of our event since the beginning. The folks at Race Monitor, Mark and Mike, they are amazing. And then now we've got AMR coming on board, Brittany. There's a few others. So the corporate side's really cool. Who else am I forgetting, Brittany, on the corporate side?
We've got MyLaps. We have the American Association of Payroll chapter of Indianapolis. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I know those guys. That's Jerry Wilson and his wife. They are awesome and do a great job. Yeah.
Jerry and his wife, they actually are each sponsors. So her company is sponsoring, and then Jerry's Speedtown Heating and Cooling.
Speedtown Comfort. Yeah, Speedtown Comfort. Yep.
They're also sponsors. So they are double, which is awesome. We have a couple others that are pending that I think will probably come back before the end of the week. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the networking side has become really important, and it and so to wrap it all up, and then you guys can go back to taking your show over. It's neat, and to me, I love that, because whether it's you guys with the with your media efforts, or it's a race car driver, or another professional, a guy like me who works in the sport as a professional, what I love about this is you can meet people and have a conversation at the bar and learn an entirely different segment of the sport, right? And I've been fortunate to do a lot in this sport, and it's because of the connections I make. And so if you're I know people that come to this event looking for jobs, and I don't want you out there soliciting, but you can make relationships, and you can really meet people. And so I'm glad to hear you say that, and I'm stoked. I love our corporate partners give us the foundation to have the confidence to be able to book a venue like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for them. But it's really cool. So yeah, what else you got on the agenda? What other fun things can we talk about?
Okay, so we kind of cut off Brittany, so
we probably should let her finish all the details.
Yeah, so you guys, we're moving into a bigger space because you've outgrown the space, and we're moving to a DJ because, well, there's just so many other things going on that a live band can be kind of distracting. I think we cut you off before we got to, there's a silent auction part, isn't there?
Yep, there's a silent auction. We've got a lot of cool things this year. The thing that I'm most excited about personally is we have a California Closets gift certificate for $500. That's the one that I really am going to be sad to let go of because it's currently in my possession. We've got.
I feel like you should get a finder's fee on that.
I know, right? I know. We've got some really cool things, a lot of motorsports stuff as usual, but then we've incorporated some baseball in there. We've got stuff from the Colts. We just have a lot of cool things coming in just about every day, actually. We started making baskets yesterday, so I think we'll have a lot of really cool items. And then we also are partnering with Kendra Scott. they're going to do a trunk show at the event. So anyone who wants to like purchase any Kendra Scott jewelry, they're donating their proceeds to Riley that night. So you can come, you can try on jewelry, and then they'll donate their proceeds, which is really cool. It's something new that we haven't done before.
That's very cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed to admit I didn't know who Kendra Scott was, but now I know what I can go Christmas shopping for my mom and sister and my nieces at the party. So that's good to know. You know,
how can I get on the list of Christmas jewelry presents in the
No
Dave Dusick household? Yeah. I mean, where do you dibs? You obviously are higher up at the totem pole, but I'm just saying.
I think the connection's cutting out. I may have to call back in. I don't. Actually, you said something that I think is cool, and I want to try. One of my initiatives this year, girls, and I would really like it if you could help with this, is we have some really amazing, awesome auction items. And because it's mostly industry professionals, they don't always go for very much money. The great folks, Sean Johnson and the folks at Charlotte Motor Speedway, have given away an all-access package to the Coke 600 the last 2 years. And I keep in mind, the Coke 600 is the same weekend as Indy, and we're all Indy people. But regardless, they have given away this unbelievable package, and it's gone for dirt cheap, $300 or $400 the last couple of years. And so if you're a race fan, this is really the place to be for several reasons. One, you can get unbelievable stuff for pennies on the dollar. As you know, I've gone to other race fan auctions. I think I paid $1,000 for a bumper off of a cup car, at Knoxville one year. But our industry folks bring cool things, but then we're all kind of connected, so we don't necessarily bid high and outbid each other on some of the really cool things, because it doesn't necessarily fit kind of where we are, right? Most of us work and we can't afford, we don't have time to go to races and do things,
Exactly. Well, and none of us want to be the asshole that writes down a price that's 5 times as high as all the other bids,
Well, we don't call that. We wouldn't call that an asshole. We would call that benevolent.
It's
benevolent.
Benevolent. I'm sorry. That's right. It is for charity.
Yes. It's benevolent. But the point is,
charity.
I think that that one of our goals is to really try to take this and expand our reach. I would say that the first 2 or 3 years, every person there actually knew me personally. The last couple of years, we started to get second and third hand people who didn't necessarily know who I was. I've had several people walk up and be like, "Hey, I don't know who you are, but I'm here and this looks like your name." And so I like that. I want to expand our reach. I want to grow that triangle, mostly so we can spread the word, spread the positivity, and build the base of people that understand that Raleigh Children's Hospital is phenomenal, and that just a little bit of a good time can do a lot for somebody who's going through a tough time in their life. And so the more we can spread the word, just the more of an impact we can make, and all the while have a darn good time and get some great auction items, and be benevolent by doing so.
And I wholeheartedly want to. I'll speak for both of us on this one. We absolutely want to help you with that. And if I remember correctly, and I may not, because, they're the bartenders that you hire are very good. So it's a little hazy, but
it's not a Dave Dusick. But you're not really hanging out with me if you don't go home with a headache.
I mean, it was really funny actually last year when you connected us with Cooper, and she was like, "Oh, how do you know Dave?" And I was like, we met when I was in college, and he is a nice enough guy that he doesn't talk about the multiple states of inebriated that he's seen me in. So I'm like, it's nice that we're both professionals. But that.
Race hard, play hard. That's the moniker.
Exactly.
I'm not ashamed to admit that we have a great life, and we're all very blessed to be in this sport. And I as long as it's good, safe, harmless fun, I definitely advocate enjoying your life. So
Absolutely.
No stress from me.
No, not at all. And I say, I've always had a great time hanging out with you, Dave. So I'm super excited that I kind of knew you before this, and that we're able to be a part of it. So if I remember correctly, was it possible, because I know you guys have a good social media presence with the Racers Know Dave Dusick, the RKDD. Was it possible for people who were not at the party to donate?
It
Or-
is this year.
Okay.
Oh.
And then,
Yep.
so my question is, with these silent auction events, ways that we can kind of help drum up support. Although I will say, we have personally already gotten 3 people to buy tickets.
I'm already making my parents and all of my family buy tickets. So
I know my mom's out of town. Otherwise, yeah, she would be there for sure.
Oh, dude, moms love me. I'm in. Bring your mom. Let's go.
Oh,
Bring her
I
and
know.
introduce
Well,
me. I'm
yeah.
in.
Oh, and you'll love Molly's mom. My mom's
Oh.
out of town, but you will love Molly's mom.
she's pretty awesome.
Let's let Brittany tell us about how we can do that, because I know they've worked really hard to make that
Well,
happen this year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was just going to say the silent auction events, we're happy to, like preview those on our social media and put it
Awesome.
out and, kind of drum up
Absolutely.
excitement.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes people have where you can, bid on items if you're not there, but that can kind of be a CF logistically. But we're happy to just, shill the things that you're selling to get people to buy tickets and show up. We have no problem with that whatsoever.
That would be awesome. So I'm putting everything into GiftSmart right now. That's what we're using to do all the bidding. It'll be online, so it's really easy. The silent auction, you have to be there to bid, mostly because shipping is a logistic nightmare.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So we're hoping people take the items with them as they leave, but we haven't done a very good preview of what we have up for sale. So I think that would be awesome if we could actually do some sort of, we'll give you like the exclusive so you can share what the items are with your followers and your fans. And I think that helps drum up more people to come and bid on these things as well. Because we do have a lot of really cool stuff. And it's nothing, it's not like we're bidding on a private jet. I mean, no one donated one of those, unfortunately. So it's a lot of things that we could all bid on and really enjoy having. So I would also enjoy having a private jet, to be honest.
I mean, who would?
Unfortunately.
Really?
Thank you.
So I think that's a really cool idea. And then as well, I'm going to create a link for you guys since you are a celebrity bartender.
Surprise everyone.
Surprise! Each of our bartenders actually get a link that they can share on social media that people can donate before, after, during the shift, whenever. So that if people aren't in attendance, but they want to donate straight to your, participation or make you guys the winners on raising the most money, they can do that whenever. So people outside of the event can still donate towards their favorite bartenders as well.
Oh, we're totally going to win. I've got a
Oh,
lot of family out of town that really likes to throw money at things.
That's beautiful. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I've got, as Dave would say, I've got a lot of benevolent family members.
Yes.
Yes.
We're using
Perfect.
the term benevolent now.
Benevolent.
I love it. It's for the kids,
It's for the
bring
kids.
all of the benevolent people that you know.
Yes. So surprise everybody. Molly and I are going to be some of the celebrity bartenders, which was one of the very fun things last year.
Yeah.
Is that, there's 2 celebrity bartenders that go head to head and they've got a signature drink, each of them. And they were holiday themed last year. And so Molly and I would each get in one of the lines and we'd each would buy one of the drinks and then we taste it and we judge them naturally.
Because
Because that's what we do. And then we would donate the drink that we liked best. But, we'd each get one and we'd try each other's and all that business. And so this year we get to be the bartenders. So, our drinks are going to be good. And so if for no other reason, come to watch Molly and I trash talk each other and 10 bar.
Yeah.
But also, like Brittany said, raising money for what were you going to say, Dave?
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I told you when I start speaking, I talk over everybody. But I tell you, the bartending thing has become awesome. You guys remember Max Pappas last year, right?
Yes.
I love Max. Max and I have worked together for the last 5 years in IndyCar race control, and the guy is awesome. And he calls me in advance. And Brittany, you remember this. He's like, hey, I'm going to make this special Italian drink. And he requested all these crazy ingredients, right? And then and we're like, man, this is a lot of work for, but it worked out because he made this special drink and he was so proud of it. And it was so cool to see them do that and to come up with a name. And then of course, Alex and Connor, Alex Rossi and Connor Daly came up with drinks of their own as well. And that's part of the fun of all of it, is trying the drinks and trying the different things and listening to Max try to convince you. My favorite part of last year, get on your wallet, or whatever Max said. He meant to say get out your wallet or get, don't, but Max in his Italian translation, God bless them. So yeah, I'm excited to have you guys join us this year. Last year, the champions were Christopher Wheeler and Lauren Stewart. Christopher Wheeler of Bell Helmets fame, and Lauren Stewart was the brains behind the late Brian Clausen Racing Enterprises. And so they were awesome last year. They went head to head and they conned me into matching them. And between the three of us, we raised just shy of $10,000 for Riley Hospital. So really excited about that. So no pressure, guys. No pressure. The Champions Trophy is held high. So come get it.
Hey, we like a good challenge.
We do. We do. And we like a good drink. I believe we donated money to both Chris and Lauren, actually.
Yes, their drinks were very good.
Yeah. We throw a little money at you, Dave, but yeah.
I'm going to have to really fix this. I'm going to have to really, the first year we did the event, we did a special Dave Dusick cocktail that is a secret that I might have to bring back this year because it's really, really tasty.
Or maybe just for the VIP people.
Well,
That's your big
I'm not a snob. I'm not a snob. I don't like to. I want to share with the world, right? Like I'm a man of the people. I drink Perrier sparkling water, but I came from dirt tracks. I'm a man of the people. So yeah. I'm gonna have to.
You're not taking Perrier to Eldora.
No. I have a great story about walking into Sean Johnson's office at Charlotte Motor Speedway with a bottle of Perrier, and he's like, "Get that IndyCar crap out of here. This is NASCAR country." And he gave me a Monster, and I was like, "Yes, sir."
Did you feel like you were in the movie Idiocracy when they're like trying to water plants with an energy drink?
It was very similar, although I should point out that Sean's from Indiana and he loves Indy cars. I don't mean to insinuate. It was mostly joking, but it was fantastic.
Totally.
Hey,
that's hilarious.
Can I take over on your show again real quick?
Yeah, you've been doing that, so keep going.
You can just stop asking, because the thing is, Dave, I talk over everyone, so if you're over the line, I'll talk over you. Don't worry.
Good to know. Well, the truth is, I'm auditioning myself to have my own podcast at some point. So I just figured I'd take over your show and just kind of see what happens, right? So,
I mean, that sounds great. Or if you wanted to be like a monthly guest on our show and like throw some sponsorship money, we could talk about that too.
Oh, I like the way you think. Can we like change the name to like be like plus DD like once a month or something, like plus DD sometimes or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I understand. Well, anyway, one of the things.
Two girls, one Dave.
Yeah.
Hey.
My mom would be concerned about that. But,
so funny story about moms. When we were thinking of names for our podcast, Molly's mom, and not knowing why this was inappropriate and hilarious, she suggested Two Girls, One Track.
Oh. Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. we both just said no. And she goes, why not? We're like, no, we're not explaining it, and you're not allowed to Google it.
Yeah.
So, but no, we could not call it that.
So moving back to less explicit thought processes, one of the things that's sort of, I don't want to say awkward, but something that always concerns me is this concept of this I Know Dave Dusick, which is the moniker of the Dave Dusick Foundation. And then, of course, the Racers Know Dave Dusick Party. The first year, it was like the graphics came out, and it was like a game. How many times can you read the word Dave Dusick in a paragraph or in a single logo, you know? And it's like, as much as forthright as I am with my personality, I'm not nearly that conceited, believe it or not. And so I always like to do is try to explain kind of how we got here and where this whole thing started, so that people sort of understand kind of the evolution of what happened and the evolution of why it's called what it's called. Because otherwise it just seems like I'm just some arrogant jerk out there throwing my name around. So can I tell that story real quick?
Yes.
Absolutely, babe. This show's about you.
Oh, well, don't say that, because I do have a little bit of conceitedness. But no, I'm kidding. Brittany, you know this story, right? I think it's on the website now, but you know how we got here? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love this story. I actually, I like
Okay.
it.
So fantastic. So real quick, as you know, like I'm a very social person, and I love to meet people, and I spend a lot of time out being social. And I have an old buddy by the name of Joe Whistler, who is now a bigwig at Henchman Uniforms. And we've known each other forever. We knew each other when we were kids, and then we got back together. He was racing sprint cars. Fast forward, he shows up at a bar one night wearing a shirt that says, I Know Dave Dusick. and it's got number 51, which is my race car number on it. And the whole purpose was to strike conversations, right? And to just, have some fun with this idea, because in all reality, I have a lot of friends, both male and female. In his particular instance, he was interested in the female ones. And so he felt like with getting a T-shirt with my name on it might help him make friends, right?
Sure.
I was concerned it might get a drink thrown in your face. But regardless, so the idea of I Know Dave Dusick was created by Joe Whistler in October of 2009. So we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. And so these pictures got put up on the internet, and unbelievable, still baffles me to this day. The response was remarkable. The number of requests we got for these I Know Dave Dusick t-shirts. Everybody wanted the darn I Know Dave Dusick t-shirt. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Who in the world wants to wear a t-shirt with my name on it, right? And so we call around, and basically our friends at Arizona Sports Shirts agreed to make these t-shirts for $5 a piece. And we decided that I couldn't profit from a shirt with my name on it, right? Like, I'm just a goofball trying to get through life. Like, I don't deserve any of that. So we decided that if we actually made any money from the sale of these t-shirts, we would give the money to Riley Hospital. So fast forward a few years, Andy Granatelli, Mr. Indy 500, the late Andy Granatelli, he gets a hold of this concept. He's seen the website and the foundation. Right at this point, it was just a website. There was no foundation. We were just writing checks to Riley, And he says, I want to get involved. And Andy Granatelli didn't do anything small, right? So Andy Granatelli decides he's going to donate $90,000 to the Dave Dusick Foundation.
Holy shit.
I know. Like, we've sold 150 T-shirts at, like, I don't know, $7 a profit or something.
And he's like, I'm all in.
I'm like, well, shit. So because of the late Andy Granatelli, the Dave Dusick Foundation was created. We needed to create a formidable entity, and I'm proud to say now that 10 years later, we're well over 150,000. We're probably pushing the $200,000 mark. I don't actually know the exact numbers off the top of my head. If my COO Sarah was here, she could probably tell us. But we're pushing $200,000 raised for the Riley Children's Foundation, and it all started because my buddy Joey Whistler built a T-shirt that said "I Know Dave Dusick" on it, and so that's sort of how the progression has happened, and I'm grateful. But I say all the time, this should be called the Friends of DD Foundation, because I am literally just the pretty face, and the people around me are the people that raise the money and put the effort in to making money for Riley Children's Hospital. So that's sort of the evolution. We've had some great T-shirts along the way. We had the "I Know Dave Dusick," and then we did Andy Granatelli knows Dave Dusick, and then our buddy Ryan Eversley, who races in the WeatherTech series over at IMSA. He put us on his race car in Indianapols one year, and we did Ryan Eversley knows Dave Dusick. And so when it was time to create the party at Indy for PRI, it seemed obvious to call it Racers Know Dave Dusick, because that's what this is all about. It's about, I have 50,000 of my closest friends in town for 3 days, and there's just not enough dinner time. So I decided to do it all at once, and lo and behold, here we are. And now we're 5 years in. Last year we raised was $19,460 was the proceeds to Riley from the event last year, and this year my goal is $25,000 from the event this year. So it's crazy to think that a T-shirt with my name on it has raised that much money for the kids at Riley Hospital. But I'm just humbled by the people in my life who have made it all possible.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
very cool. And that's such a great story as to how this foundation and this event got started. And Dave, if you don't mind, I would like you to talk about why you chose Riley Children's Hospital and the impact that they've had on your life. Because it's not just, I mean, obviously it's easy to start a charity to raise money for a children's hospital. I mean, I think everybody on earth, as long as you have a soul, get some feels for kids who happen to be in the hospital for whatever reason. And so it's not that it's a hard charity to sell by any means, but you have a personal connection to them. And I'd like to talk about that a little bit, if that's okay.
I'm glad this isn't a video podcast, because I can't get through it without crying. But again, I don't want to belabor the story, because there's a lot of other stories that are even better than mine. But the short version is we were diagnosed with an incurable cancer at 13 months, the age of 13 months. And there's a longer version that includes the amazing things that my mother and my pediatrician did to save my life. But the short version is that finally Riley Hospital was the first hospital to step up and say, I think you're right. I think something's going on here. And they investigated, and sure enough, I had a tumor in my right cheekbone. It was actually muscle, but it was in my right cheek. And basically, it's every other story like this. I was given a 50% chance of living 6 months.
Wow.
So once again, just think about that. 50% chance of 6 months. That's at 13 months old. There were no numbers for 7 months, right? Which I don't necessarily statistically understand how that works. Like there's got to be a graph or a curve or something. But regardless, that was the number that gets thrown around. So 50% chance of living 6 months. And what I always say is they threw the kitchen sink at it. And keep in mind, this is 1978 and I'm 13 months old. So my head's about the size of a big softball, maybe a cantaloupe. And I have a tumor inside that cantaloupe. Through some divine intervention, a network of love that to this day continues to humble and amaze me, and the unbelievable physicians and people at Riley Children's Hospital. Obviously, we beat those 6 months. We're 41 and a half years or something past the odds at this point. And so, yeah, it's the same story that you hear so often from Riley, that the odds were nothing. And Riley, it's literally the definition of a miracle. It's as I believe, I have a lot of faith, and I believe that it's partly the universe or God or whatever you choose to call that, and it's partly the unbelievable saints that are the people at Riley Children's Hospital. But yeah, so that's the story, and it all kind of ties in with the I Know Dave Dusick portion, because the result of the cancer has left me with a unique look. I'll say it that way. I like to call myself the funny looking guy. But obviously, my face didn't grow at the same rate. The areas that they hit with radiation and chemotherapy, they killed the cancer, but they killed everything near it. So that's created this unique look that I have. And I think that's part of the reason that everybody remembers me, is because I'm just that guy that everywhere you go, you're like, man, who's that funny looking dude? I see him everywhere, and we've been fortunate to turn that into a positive. And I'm grateful to be able to have an industry and a community who has supported me and loved me since I was 5 years old. And this motorsport community is my home. The people in it are my family, and it really all. That's what makes this Racers KDD so special, is because it's a room full of people that have loved me and supported me all across the world, that come together for PRI, and we do something productive for the folks that gave us the chance to have this life. So yeah, that's about the shortest version of that story I can tell, with about the least number of tears.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we were at a live show, I would start the applause right now.
Yeah, that was
because that's. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a wonderful story. It really is. Are there I'm a nurse in my day job, and I know plenty of excellent nurses that work at Riley, and it takes a special person to be a nurse, but it takes a special kind of nurse to work with kids, because it's definitely a lot harder emotionally. You mentioned that your pediatrician, your mom, did awesome things in helping you guys find that diagnosis. I say, do you have any doctors or nurses that you wanted to thank? Just because we love to be pro medical professionals on our show.
So it's funny, you would have to talk to my mom, because I was 13 months when we were diagnosed, and I think it was like 3.5 when we were finally out of the woods. But I will tell you that what you say about the nurses is really important, because through most of my life, I would go back to Riley for checkups or for whatever else. And this random lady, not this random lady, but several random ladies or random people would come up to me, and they would see my mom. And of course they have a relationship, and they would hug me and start bawling their eyes out. And I'm 5, 6 years old. I'm like, I got no idea who this lady is. Right. But
yeah.
Now 40 years later, 35 years later, I look back and understand the emotional connection that they made with me, the commitment of their life and their heart that they put in to my heart and my life, like that's what makes these hospitals like Riley Hospitals so remarkable, that these people were 10 years later and they loved me. Like I could see it and feel it from them. And that's an unbelievable, this day and age, that in itself is a remarkable experience. And that's what makes this place so special. And it's what makes this whole effort so special, because whether it's the families or whatever it may be, anything we can do to make that experience better. I want to paint a picture. My parents were 24 years old. They were newlyweds. My dad was working as a draftsman. My mother was putting herself through nursing school, and they have their first child. And a year in, this child gets sick, right? And he's in the hospital nonstop every second of every day. And my mom graduated nursing school while I'm at Riley. Now, thank you, Jesus. We were at Riley and she was going to IU Med School, which is all right there on the same campus. But stop for a minute and look around at 24-year-olds in your life and think about being 24 years old with a brand new baby who's dying in the hospital, right? That's what Riley Hospital does every day. Every day. And I don't care if you're 24, 34, or 74. Having a sick baby is the worst thing in the entire world. But that's awful. And anything we can do to make that experience a microcosm better, 1% better, is an effort worth making, right? And again, I know there's a million people out there who have needs, and there's many other worthwhile causes. But for me, thinking about what my parents went through and thinking about what families go through on a daily basis, I'm very, very grateful for the people in my life who helped me give back to the people who changed my life.
Very nice. Very cool.
I say that's extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, I don't have any kids, so I don't have experience with having a kid who has cancer. But my dad did pass away when I was 21. And like you said, just anything you can do to make that experience a little bit better. When people are going through a death or, a trauma of any kind, such as your kid has cancer, your kid's in the hospital, and your mom at 24, I can't even imagine emotionally dealing with that at 24 years old. I don't think 24-year-old me would have been able to. But I know from my experience of dealing with a loss, it was so nice to have people around that cared and just did things that made it better, that made a really bad time the best that it could be. And so the fact that this event focuses on Riley Children's Hospital, which is obviously not somewhere that anybody ever wants to find themselves. You don't ever, as a parent, want to have to take your kid to Riley. But when you do take your kid to Riley, they're getting the best care. And that they're being loved by the nurses there. It's not just that they're caring for your kid. They're getting to know your kid. They're loving your kid. Like you said, 10 years later, these nurses are, hugging you. And you said you could see the love in their eyes. And I think that is very common within pediatric nurses, especially the ones at Riley. The ones that I know, I can 100% attest to that. But I would say that that's pretty true for all the nurses there. Yeah, like you said, anything that we can do that makes what is a crappy place to be, not that the hospital's crap, but just, emotionally having to have your child there. If you can make that easier, if you can make that better in any way, it just does so much for the families and the kids there. It does. Yeah. I think it does more than most people would imagine that it does if they're on the outside and are donating in. If you've never been in a situation like that, I think that, you don't understand that the littlest thing can make a huge difference on somebody's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're down like that and the whole world's up against you. Just knowing you got a friend, just knowing that you're not alone in the battle is that's the first step in all battles, is knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Whew. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So back to Brittany. So with the DJ, if we tip the DJ, are we allowed to request songs? Because even though my mom isn't there, I would like to call her while we have them play Turn Down for What, because that's her favorite party song.
Oh, you know what, Britt? I think she's
I'm
on to
sure.
something.
Why not?
I mean, most DJs accept bribes for songs. You might as well throw that in as a donation opportunity.
So
Yeah,
here's
wait a
what I
minute
think.
Why not?
Here's what I think. Have y'all? I'm a good time guy. I used to actually live on Georgia Street, but Howl at the Moon does a deal where it's like a competition, right? So instead of just saying, "Here's $1, play my song," maybe like once every 15 minutes or some periodic, we play a request, but the donation, the highest donation, Howl at the Moon does that. So, you pay $10 to play the IU fight song, and then you play $20 to play the Purdue fight song, and Purdue wins. So maybe we do something like that where it's it's sort of like a competition, and we can play some songs. I love that idea. You girls are good at this.
That's a great idea.
I know. Would you
like
would you
making money?
right?
I used to work at House of Moon, so that'll be easy for me to put together.
Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea.
That's
Wait
an
a minute.
excellent idea.
That's a
Although
great
I'm gonna throw out right now. I will not abide the Purdue fight song being played.
Yeah, we can't have that happen.
Well,
So
there
IU
you go.
fans, you better get your asses to this event, because I refuse to have to listen to that fight song.
That's brilliant. We could right now. I have quite a few Kentucky fans, so we could. I'll put money on Evansville just to spar them a little bit.
I was gonna say, I'll put some money
Yes.
towards that too.
Yeah. There was two things I was going to say. One, Brittany, I didn't know you worked at Howl at the Moon. We're going to have that conversation offline.
Yeah,
I
So do you
did.
play piano or?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
I worked like the door, so you had to pay me to get in.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I owe you a personal apology.
Yeah, all of us. Hey, here's the second thing I was going to offer, and this is where I get myself in trouble because I did this last year and I got myself in trouble. But I'm going to say that anybody who listens to this and comes up to me and introduce anybody who comes to the event and says, "Hey, I heard you on the podcast. I love what you're doing. I will buy them a drink. I will buy them a drink
That's
at the
dangerous.
event." Anybody who listens to this, who I'm going to throw a caveat in, we can't already be friends. Now, if we're friends and I forgot we were friends, then you win. You get a bite. If I don't remember you, then that's on me because my memory's horrible.
Okay, so if you only kind of know Dave, wait till the end of the night.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
That's kind of what
That's
I'm
always
thinking
my
up
rule.
there.
Buy me drinks early in the night, and then all that long, I'm like, "Oh, I owe you a drink." But yeah, no, I should stop telling these secrets out loud. So no.
We'll edit that out. Only Molly and I will use that against you.
You can leave it in. It's fine. It's all for a good cause. So I want to get new people there. So if you don't know who I am and you have suffered through this entire hour of listening to me talk and you can't even stand it, but you're loyal to the podcast, come buy a ticket. They're $35 in advance. Brittany will tell you how you can get them. And then come find me. I'm easy to find. I'm a funny-looking guy. I usually have a lot of people around me. And shake my hand. Tell me that you heard this on the podcast, and I'll go buy you a drink of your choice.
So see, right there, you just go up and you tell Dave, "Hey, we heard you on Fast Cars, Fast Girls," and he'll buy you a drink. And guess what? Since it's his event, he gets to skip the line.
It's true.
I don't know if that's kind of not fair. Last year, I did sort of have like my own personal bartender. That was kind of cool. I guess.
I mean,
bartender.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'll use the VIP. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good call.
Well, and I
I'm
mean,
gonna
at the
test
end of the
that
day,
he
like,
means this because he's already given one away on Twitter to someone that came last year. So I know Dave is not joking because he's
Well,
already
there you
told
go.
someone.
Wait, I've already given away drinks?
Yes.
Oh, man, I got to stop doing this.
Dave,
You are
I mean, you need to get off the Twitter. I think I don't know
Yeah.
what's happening.
So someone
Yeah,
is coming back that was there last year, and he's bringing his friends. And Dave already said, "Hey, man, come introduce yourself to me. I'd love to meet you in person, and I'll buy you a drink." So
Shoot.
he's not joking.
No-
He really,
no
he
drinking
will
and
keep
tweeting.
those- Right.
Yeah.
He really will
This
keep
is-
his promises.
No, that's true. I keep the promises, but this is why I also
That's
need
true.
a publicist. So, by the way, I thought we
You
agreed
need
it
a
was fast.
handler.
I thought it was Fast Cars, Fast Girls plus DD. I thought we agreed on that. I thought that
The
you're already
one time
you're already
the
kicking.
one time a month.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So
I'm
today, so today it is Fast Cars, Fast Girls plus DD.
got it. Okay. All right,
Or
copy.
should we call it Fast Cars, Fast Girls double D?
So there's the next thing. Come get all three of us drinks, and who knows what will happen.
Oh,
But yeah, you're
people
right.
who listen to this podcast will know what will happen.
I should have prepared properly, but I try to hedge my personality such because we're focused on the hospital. But obviously everybody knows I like to have a good time. And last year I didn't get enough drinks. Like I gave my drink tickets to my friend who was supposed to be my handler, and she got busy being social, and like I didn't actually get enough. So it took a long time before I got stupid and offered to match the bartenders. So this year we're gonna fix that. We're gonna have a good time, and I promise you, if I tell you I'm gonna buy you a drink, that's one promise I will always keep. So, but Brittany, thanks for reminding me. I probably need to keep track of how many times I offer to buy drinks because we still got like 3 weeks left. So,
Yeah.
Britt, do you want to circle back on final details? More importantly, info on where they can get info. Obviously, you can search I know Dave Dusick or DaveDusickFoundation.org, and that will get you to the website. But Britt can tell you all about the event.
Absolutely. So honestly, I would just go to our social media. I think that's the easiest place. But if you need tickets,
Well, and so real quick, so you guys are on Twitter. What other social media do you have?
yeah. Well, Dave has Instagram, and then we have Twitter and Facebook.
And people can find that by searching Dave Dusick Foundation.
Just I know Dave Dusick.
I know Dave Dusick.
Yep.
Yep.
Instagram is Dave Dusick. Twitter is I know Dave Dusick, and Facebook is also I know Dave Dusick. Mm-hmm. If you just type Dave Dusick into Google, there are 2 other Dave Dusicks in the world, and I feel really bad for those guys because they get no love. If you type Dave Dusick into Google, you'll find me.
I want to send them a shirt.
That's a great idea.
That's fantastic.
But you know what? Actually, you should make it say, "I wish I knew Dave Dusick."
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
I've had some people.
And the back would just be a big picture of your face.
We did a shirt design one time with a character. We have a caricature of me, and it didn't go over well. But we're looking for some new fun shirt ideas, so maybe we can work on that. But
have you met the guys at Toronto Motorsports? Because their artist is fantastic.
Oh, dude, that's a fantastic idea. That we could do some good with that. We might have to make that happen.
All right, I'll tell you what. When we're done recording, we'll chat a little bit more about that because those guys are fantastic.
Copy that. So,
okay. So we cut off Brittany again because Dave and I can't shut up.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
I'm being polite. I just want to point that out again.
You're always the polite one. We've known this decades. Decades.
You have to balance each other out.
It's true. Okay, so Brittany, it is Thursday, December 12th. All of the social media, you can Google Dave Dusick, the website, davedusickfoundation.org.
Yep, and we have our tickets are at Racers KDDV, so it's Racers No Dave Dusick 5.eventbrite.com, and you guys can probably link that.
We will we'll put it in the description. We'll also tweet it out and put it on our Facebook and our Instagram.
Perfect. So you can buy tickets there. Tickets start at $35 for general admission or $100 for VIP. That comes with drink tickets. And we also have a couple sponsorships still available. So if you want to give more and you need a good tax deduction before the end of the year, there's information on the Eventbrite website where you can just email me or the Fast Girls can get you in touch with us.
Yes, absolutely. So if you are a little bit inept with the internets, feel free to message us and we will hook you up with the right people. So yeah, if you got some extra money that you would like to put towards a good cause, if you'd like to be benevolent.
And I would like to point out, if you're not social media, if you're not good on the interwebs, then you can buy tickets at the door. They go up still, right, Brittany? It's actually $50 at the door. We do an advance sale, $35. That's my way of ultimately $50 is what we want the price to be because of the value that goes to Riley. But I ask that we keep the price point low. So if you buy in advance, that opens the doors to everybody. But if you are feeling benevolent, you can always buy tickets at the door at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and just come on in. It's 6 p.m. on December the 12th. And but I definitely watch out for our socials. to get instructions and driving instructions because it gets a little hairy with the multiple events at the Speedway. The Speedway is a big place, and not everybody at the Speedway knows Dave Dusick, so you can get lost.
It is a big place. I would find it rare that somebody would not know you, but I will say the Speedway is a big place.
Yeah. Actually, after I said that, I thought it would sound bad if I said actually that's not true, but yeah,
right. I'm like, I'll call you out on that. I'm like, I don't know that that's true.
These days, I'm not around as much as I used to be. But anyway, I just really want to thank you guys again. This is a racing show, and you guys are very deeply rooted in our community, and taking time out of your efforts to focus on what we're doing is really, I'm really grateful that you've done that. I use that word a lot, but that's just the word I feel all the time. So thank you for showcasing RKDD, and man, let's go have a party.
Let's have a party for a great cause. How about that? Absolutely. I like that.
Yeah, a party for a great cause. We're going to party like adults. And Dave, you're very welcome. And, we had chatted with Brittany via email as we were setting this up and had invited her on the call. And, and prior to us recording, you said you really wanted to make sure that you said thanks to her and to, Cooper and, Cooper Entertainment, CCE.
Cooper Consulting.
There we go.
Events.
Events. There we go. But Cooper Entertainment, maybe that Cooper Entertainment Worldwide, if you're looking for a name change.
True.
It's practically that. But one of the things that we love to do, in addition to talking about IndyCar, is to feature women who do cool things in any area in motorsports. And so, Brittany and Laura both fall within that category of being women that are doing cool things that are kind of behind the scenes. And so. Yes. I just want to say thank you for being the kind of a guy who, even though you're a front man, you acknowledge and recognize, the people that you have behind you, and for, putting people around that help to make this event what it is, and what, and help to just increase how much money you can raise each year for this charity.
Dude, I my favorite saying in the world is, behind every good man is a great woman. And I'm so difficult. I don't have a great woman behind me. I have an entire team. Not only Laura Cooper and her Cooper Consulting Events team, but my sister Sarah, who's my COO and right-hand man, and every woman that's ever put up with me for however small of a minute amount of time throughout the years. The powerful women run this world. They're just smart enough to let us men think that we do. So I guess you're absolutely right. It's great to see, especially in this sport. It can be very difficult for women in this sport, and I love to see successful women. People find success. Women find success in this sport. So I concur.
Excellent. Well, Brittany, thank you again.
Thank you guys for having us.
You guys are so welcome. All right. We like to do a white flag at the end of our recordings.
Heck yeah.
Right? It's your chance to say one last thing before we wave the checkered. So our white flag, let's all say the thing that you're most excited about at the event.
Oh.
I'm going to put it out there and say the food.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting in touch with my inner fat kid right now, and I'm going to say the food, because it's December and we all like comfort food. And I just remember that there were mashed potatoes last year that I could have taken an entire pan home. I considered it, but I didn't bring enough big enough purse.
Girl, don't worry, they're on the menu.
Yes.
Mashed potatoes.
So yeah. So my white flag is I'm super excited for the food.
I'm gonna need a minute. Somebody else is gonna have to go.
I'm gonna say the people, because I feel like the date that we have it is in the off season, so like everyone is just so excited to see each other again. Plus, you get to see all your friends from like different parts of the sports world, and everyone's just really happy to be there. I think it's I just love it. I love seeing everyone, and everybody's in the same town again.
Everybody seems very carefree at that event.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it's
like
awesome.
it's not racers showing up to a media event. It's They're just coming to hang out with friends.
Exactly. It's awesome. So the people for me.
You stole mine, Brittany. That's not cool.
That's why I went first.
Do you need a minute, Dave? I can go now.
Well, I do want to expand on that in typical Dave Dusick fashion. That one of the things I love the most, and this isn't my answer, but the thing I love the most is what you guys said it earlier, that there's this energy in the room, and it's remarkable that whether it's Jay Fry or Doug Bowles or Connor Daly or Charlie Kimball,
Charlie Kimball.
We didn't give Charlie Kimball a shout out. He's coming back this year.
I was going to ask that. He is honest. Okay, first off, he's one of the smartest guys in the paddock. But secondly, he is the most personable guy. Like I just love him, and his wife Kathleen. Yes. I want to be better friends with her and go out for drinks with her. But oh my gosh, Charlie Kimball, I could not say enough nice things about that guy.
So funny story. This is kind of the story of my life. I usually meet the wives before I meet the men, and so I became friends with Kathleen first, and then got to know Kathleen and Charlie, and they are amazing people. But I give him credit. He saw me at Laguna Seca, and he was on his scooter. We were on pit lane. I don't remember where we were, and he like in passing looked at me. He's like, Dusick, I'm at your event. I'm in. Count me in. I'm there. And he was like in the middle of 70 things. And I was just like, dude, that is so awesome. So shout out to Charlie Kimball for doing that. I think that's cool. But 20 minutes later, to my original point, is that the energy of the room, like everybody is just really, there's love in the room. And that makes me feel so good. And that's the thing I'm the most proud is I have so many people with big hearts in my life, and the ability to put all those people in a room and to see them in a different light, to see Max Pappas in that light, to see Jay Fry or Doug Bowles or Alex Rossi or Kimball or any of these guys, or just random people. Everybody has a common goal. Everybody has a common theme. Everybody has a common desire for that night. And so for once in our lives, we can spend 4 hours and everybody agrees on one thing, that they, A, know Dave Dusick, and they probably have a great story to tell about me doing something stupid. And B, we're doing something great for Raleigh Children's Hospital. So I guess that's my answer. The people is what I love as well. I'm excited to see old friends, to make new friends. But most importantly, I'm excited to be in a room full of people that just want to do something good. And there's no negativity ever. And I love that.
That's awesome. This is why I went first with my answer for food.
Yeah, this is like a repeat of my brother's wedding where the bride's sister gave a speech and like everybody was crying, and then they all looked at me and I was like, I can't follow that.
And you're sitting up there and you look at your notes and you're like, well, me saying you're still a fart face seems very out of place now.
I just sat down. I said no and went So I was gonna say I was excited to see somebody from AMR DJing. So it's a little lame after a very heartfelt and pure statement from Dave, but I'm excited to see AMR DJ.
Here's what I want to know: is he going to do it in the AMR fire suit? Because I feel like if it's
I
not
want
too
that
hot,
to happen even more.
Oh, that's a great idea.
If he's not going to be too warm, wearing that inside, then I think he should. I mean, I imagine it'll be fine because I mean it's a hell of a lot hotter outside at some of the races. So,
dude, Brittany, we have to make that happen. Call Randy.
Ooh, have him wear a helmet.
I know that's maybe a little far, but
I mean, no, but it'd be all the cool DJs that like hide their identity. It'd be kind of fun, like a tongue in cheek, at least for a little bit.
An open face helmet, because that's the irony of the helmet, but you can see his face. For the record,
I like that.
Well, I want to give a shout out to the guys at AMR because they've stepped up big for us this year, and they're bringing the DJ, and they're a great new partner. But I have a really funny story, and I know we already white flagged. And I'm sorry, but I'm taking over.
That's fine.
So
well, you
Randy,
know what? NASCAR rules, we're going to green, white, checkered.
Oh, good call. So we're going to
We got a yellow, so we're going to green, white, checkered. Yeah.
We didn't hit the overtime line, so we're going to try this. Rack them up and try it again. So I was at IMSA for the Petit Le Mans, and I was with my buddy Chad McGonigal, who was the former head of track services for IMSA. Anyway, he's like, hey, I got to go to the AMR motorhome and talk with the guys from AMR. And this is right after they announced that they're going to be a partner with us. So we walk in, and Randy, I can't pronounce Randy's last name, but Randy's the head of AMR.
Yeah.
So
this is
we're sitting.
My favorite story, by the way.
So you know this story already.
I know
Randy,
the
right?
story. Yeah.
Okay. If you know Randy, it's a great story. So we sit and we walk in, and Randy.
Strozik? Is it Strozik?
That sounds right. Yeah, we'll go with Strozik. There's some funky letter, a Y and a Z and some other things.
Some dots over something.
Yeah. How in the world do you get both a Y and a Z in your name? But anyway,
Yeah.
so we walk in this motorhome, and in his defense, he's on the telephone. But Chad introduces me. I'm like, hey man, I'm Dave. Good to meet you. So we talk, and Chad and him do their business thing, and we talk about a lot of things. And Randy's a fun-loving guy like me, you know. And so we're hanging out in there. And so he's like, yeah, we're doing this thing with Laura Cooper. We're going to do this charity event at PRI. And he goes on for like 10 minutes about this thing, you know. And I just decide at this point, like, I'm going to let him go, right? Like, I can't interrupt him and be like, I know, you know. So I'm like, well, at this point, I'm going to give an honest, you know, I'm going to wait for the guy to be like, yeah, some DB named Dave Dusick, you know, who's that guy? Who's he think he is, you know? Like, I was waiting for something like that. Luckily for Randy, he didn't say that. But he talked for like 10 minutes about this whole charity event and how excited they were to be a part of it. And I'm like, when he's all done, I'm like, hey man, Randy, I don't know if I introduced myself, but I'm Dave Dusick. I'm the namesake of that event. And Randy just like the look on his face, he got like pale white. He's like, are you kidding me? And it was just fantastic, especially given the fact that like I'm unique and everybody knows me, and that's the whole irony of it, you know?
Yeah.
And then in reality, the positive out of it is the testament to Laura Cooper and her team. You know, we have a lot of people who are dedicated to this event because of me and my personal relationships, the people at My Laps and Race Monitor and IBOC and Cooper Tire. But AMR comes on board because of their relationship with Laura Cooper. And so when I say this event isn't about me, I mean that, right? But it was fantastic that these guys are really, they're going to be there to support Laura and the Riley Children's Hospital, and has nothing to do with me, which I'm cool with, because I mean, as long as Riley gets the benefit. But it was just amazing, and if you know Randy and his personality, like he just was so embarrassed, and it was fantastic. So I guess that's my green white checker.
There you go.
Right. No, he's a fun guy. All the AMR people, they're characters.
Yeah, they are.
So, all right. Well, I guess we should probably wave the checkered flag on this.
That sounds good to me.
So pay attention to our social media. As always, you can find us at our website, www.fastcarsfastgirls.com. And we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll be posting information about this event and, of course, mentioning it each week on the podcast. So, and again, make sure that you go up and introduce yourself to Dave and tell him that you heard him on our podcast, and he'll buy you a free drink. So,
yeah, you heard it here.
I'm not going to steal drink tickets from the till either. I'm going to buy those drinks with my own money.
Okay.
Correct. He's not allowed to steal drink tickets from the table.
Exactly.
It seems like this was a rule that was put in place for a reason.
Yeah, that's one of those rules with a reason.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's you know, Racetrack Engineering is a sponsor. I guess I've never given a shout out to our company. Racetrack Engineering is a sponsor, and we get drink tickets. For some reason, I never seem to get a hold of them. So I think that's by design.
You haven't been confirmed.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I have to write a check. Call Sarah.
Well.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for listening. Make sure to buy your tickets because, like you said, it's been growing, and it very well could sell out because it's quite a fun time. And last year I said it was kind of the best kept secret in Indianapolis. I think that it might not be kept a secret for too much longer. So you'll want to get in on this now.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. You guys have a great week.
Bye.